Where? Are we gonna build a shelter?
Oh my God! They just...
Don't come here. It's
The world is full of strange and puzzling events, from stories of cars disappearing into another dimension to tales of a time-traveling ghost walking through a closed door. But today, I've got something even wilder to share. A man who claims he found a portal to another dimension.
Where? Are we gonna build a shelter?
Yes! Something!
And here's the crazy part. He's not the only one. There are others out there with similar claims. Get ready because we're about to step into the unknown. 1. Ghost car disappears during police chase. Sometimes life throws us a curveball that looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. This was exactly the case in 2015 when a video, reportedly filmed by the Los Angeles Police Department, captured a scene that could make even the staunchest skeptic scratch their head. The footage, caught on a police dash cam, showcases a high-speed chase through the streets of Los Angeles. As the police pursued the vehicle, everything seemed pretty standard until it wasn't. The car in question took a less traveled road, weaving away from the bustling downtown area. Just when you'd expect another left or right turn, the unexpected happened. The car vanished into thin air, right before the eyes of the bewildered officers. What makes the video even more intriguing is where the car disappeared. After the phantom turn, the police car screeched to a stop in front of a solid, undamaged wire fence. No breach, no damage, just an ordinary fence on an ordinary road, minus the car that had just seemingly teleported to another dimension. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. There are a few theories about what happened. One suggests that the driver knew exactly where this mysterious portal was and planned the escape accordingly. Another theory speculates that the driver might have had the technology to create such a portal. And of course, there's always the possibility that this was a once-in-a-lifetime, freak supernatural event. But let's not get carried away without considering the skeptic's view. Could this all be a clever hoax? A digitally altered illusion designed to puzzle and entertain? Considering no credible explanations or counterclaims have surfaced on the internet to debunk or explain the footage, the debate continues. So, as we wrap up this bizarre tale, one can't help but wonder, if a car can disappear, what might be next? Could there be more to this story waiting to be uncovered? Or is it another internet mystery destined to remain unsolved? You'd be surprised to hear what else was captured in the video series. 2. Time-traveling ghost in a black hoodie. Sometimes reality takes a nosedive into the realm of fiction, or does it? The internet is abuzz yet again, this time over a spine-tingling CCTV clip that could give the best ghost stories a run for their money. The footage, black and white and grainy like the classic films of yore, shows something straight out of a paranormal blockbuster. Though firmly locked, a convenience store's doors pose no barrier to a man who strolls through them without breaking stride. No, it's not your average Joe looking for a late-night snack. This man walks through closed doors, accompanied by a bright flash of light. As if the scene wasn't bizarre enough, the corner store's timestamp plays its own tricks. It flips between 2016 and 2019, while inside, the light flashes like a disco ball gone haywire. When our mysterious visitor exits, just as inexplicably as he entered, he leaves behind a homeless man who'd been sleeping by the store. The poor guy wakes up just in time to catch the tail end of the spectacle, his face the perfect picture of bewilderment. The video, which quickly went viral after being uploaded by UFO Mania, has everyone throwing their 2 cents in. Is it a glimpse into time travel, a ghost caught on camera, or just a slice of Hollywood on the streets? Skeptics are having a field day pointing out the potential for digital trickery. They argue that the flashing lights and the odd flickering of the timestamp might just be smoke and mirrors, or rather, clever editing. Opinions on social media are split. Some viewers are convinced they've just seen proof of the paranormal, or even a time traveler. Others, however, aren't buying it. They suggest everything in the video, from the bewildered homeless man to the nonchalant couple that earlier walked away from the locked doors, was staged. According to these doubters, all were actors in a well-orchestrated setup meant to mislead the public. As the debates rage on, the video continues to rake in views, each viewer hoping to catch a detail that might have been missed. After all, who doesn't love a good mystery that challenges our understanding of reality? This isn't the first time a video has sparked widespread intrigue, and it certainly won't be the last. In an age where digital editing tools are just a click away, the line between fact and fiction becomes blurrier by the day. 3. Mysterious lab-coated man teleports onto a busy road. Talk about a wild ride for anyone tracking the edge of science and fiction. It's one thing to watch mind-bending tech in movies, but what if I told you it might be crossing over into our reality? This jaw-dropper of a tale unfolds with a video from May 5th, 2012, which only recently popped up on YouTube, sparking a whirlwind of chatter and speculation. The footage captures a seemingly ordinary lorry journey somewhere in Russia, recorded by a dashboard camera. The scene is mundane until it's anything, but the lorry unexpectedly veers across the road, narrowly dodging an unforeseen obstacle. Here's where it gets Hollywood-level bizarre. Out of nowhere, a man in a long lab coat and black boots appears right in the path of the lorry. In a split-second reflex, the driver swerves dramatically to avoid a crash. The mysterious man, looking utterly dazed, slowly strolls to the roadside, seemingly oblivious to the chaos he's caused. The driver, shaken, doesn't just drive on, he pulls over, likely driven by a mix of concern and curiosity. What was that all about? Was it a narrow escape from a pedestrian daydreaming his way across the highway? Or something far more sensational? Cue the sci-fi soundtrack, because some believe this footage is a sneak peek into a future where teleportation isn't only possible, it's happening. This theory isn't just wild speculation. It's got some hefty financial backing. The Kremlin, not typically known for its whimsical investments, has poured a staggering $1.4 trillion into what could be groundbreaking tech. This fund isn't just for any tech. It's aimed at developing RoboCop-esque interfaces and, yes, Star Trek-level teleporters. Russian tech mogul Alexander Galitsky, speaking to Kommersant, a major newspaper, referenced some compelling precedents. It sounds fantastical today, but Stanford has seen success at the molecular level. He added a thought-provoking tidbit. Much of the tech we have today was drawn from science fiction films 20 years ago. Could we be on the brink of making another leap from real to real? If teleportation is on the table, what could possibly come next? 4. Salyut 7 incident. It was 1984, and the crew aboard the Soviet space station Salyut 7 had been wrapping up a marathon, 237-day mission. On day 156, things took a bizarre turn. The cosmonauts Leonid Kizim, Vladimir Solovyov, and Oleg Atkov reported a mysterious orange glow enveloping their spacecraft. At first, they suspected a technical glitch, maybe a gas leak, but what unfolded next felt like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. As the glow intensified, it morphed into something extraordinary. The cosmonauts described seeing not just lights, but angelic beings. 7 massive humanoid figures, each towering at about 80 feet tall, complete with wings and radiant halos. These celestial visitors lingered for about 10 minutes, and during that time, the crew was washed over with an inexplicable feeling of peace and joy. But the story didn't end there. Fast forward a few weeks, and 3 new crew members joined the station. You'd think that would be the end of it, but no, these newcomers also encountered otherworldly beings. With 6 witnesses to these celestial sightings, it raised a question. Could this really have been a shared hallucination, or was something more profound at play? Some space sleuths suggested that Salyut 7 might have stumbled through a cosmic portal to another dimension, or a higher plane of existence. This theory gained some traction, considering the profound emotions and the ethereal nature of the sightings, which sounded more like a brush with the divine than a simple space station glitch. Despite these astonishing accounts, the Soviet leadership was less than thrilled. Reluctant to validate the incident, fearing it might cast doubts on the cosmonauts' sanity or tarnish the reputation of their space program, the story remained under wraps. It wasn't until the Soviet Union dissolved that these details drifted into the public domain. What could possibly top this? Check out number 4 to find out. 5. Mysterious footage of cars flying in China. Ever found yourself in a situation so bizarre you just had to laugh it off? That's exactly what happened at a busy intersection in China when cars seemingly took flight. No, really. This wasn't a magic trick gone wrong or a scene from a sci-fi flick. It was all too real and caught on camera. The astonishing footage, which popped up on LiveLeak, captures 3 vehicles as they suddenly levitate off the ground at this crowded junction. Out of nowhere, the back end of a van lifts off the road, while the front of another car is yanked upwards. And yet another car's rear is hoisted into the air. It's like gravity decided to take a quick coffee break. But what goes up must come down. The vehicles crashed back onto the road with a startling bang. The one that got the worst of it was a vehicle that was lifted so high and with such force that it tipped over onto its side. Onlookers initially backed away, understandably shocked by the sudden vehicular acrobatics. But soon, their concern took over, and they approached the cars to check on the drivers. It's still unclear if anyone was injured in this strange spectacle. So, what turned a normal street into a car-flipping mystery zone? Chinese media finally shed some light on the situation. It turns out that a seemingly innocent piece of steel cable entangled in the brush of a street sweeper was the culprit. As the sweeper moved, it lifted the cable slightly into the air, snagging any car unfortunate enough to pass by at just the wrong moment. This freaky footage has not only been viewed over 20,000 times, but also sent the internet into a wild hunt for answers, turning the heads of skeptics and believers alike. In an age where every second of driving can be captured by CCTV, GoPros, and smartphones, this incident adds a whole new layer to the unexpected events that can unfold on the road. Before the digital era, who would have believed such a tale without video evidence? With all the wild and wacky things we've seen, you'd think nothing could surprise us anymore, right? Well, stick around because the next clip might just have you questioning reality all over again. 6. Men in black caught on camera. Have you ever wondered what happens when the supernatural bumps into the everyday? Well, let's just say it's not every day you find the men in black making a grand entrance at a hotel. This tale takes us back to 2009 at the Sheraton Hotel, now waving the Marriott flag, in Niagara Falls, Ontario, where hotel staff got more than they bargained for. This story started brewing a year earlier, on October 14, 2008, when something out of this world hovered above the hotel, a massive triangular UFO about 240 feet long, decked out with 3 stark white lights on each side and a red light at its center, hovered in the sky. It wasn't just there for a light show. This craft sent a beam straight down to the water before shifting its focus towards some very startled witnesses: the hotel's general manager and a security pro. Fast forward to May 15, 2009, and the hotel's security cameras capture 2 peculiar characters walking in. Dressed in crisp black suits and trench coats, topped with old-fashioned hats, these weren't your average guests. Their skin was unusually pale, and their features, let's just say they weren't typical. No eyebrows or eyelashes and those big blue eyes that look like they could see right through you. Now, it's one thing to look unusual, but guests and staff felt these guys could nearly read their minds. They roamed the hotel, asking for the general manager by name, which was creepy enough, then vanished as mysteriously as they appeared. Their spooky vibe and those hypnotic eyes matched the descriptions of Nordics or Pleiadians, alien types known for their too perfect to be real looks. This wasn't just a one-off event. Remember the UFO sighting from a year ago? Yep, that was them returning to check in. What's even more intriguing is how all this adds up. Why were these men in black here? What was with the UFOs? This incident leaves us dangling with questions that might just keep you up at night. And if you thought that was something, you'll be shocked to hear what came next in this series of strange encounters. 7. Lars Miton. Sometimes a regular vacation can take a turn for the bizarre and leave us scratching our heads for years. That's exactly what happened to Lars Miton in the summer of 2014. This isn't just any missing person case. It's a mystery that has puzzled both investigators and the public alike. In 2014, Lars Miton, a 28-year-old construction worker from Germany, traveled to the sunny seaside resort of Golden Sands in Bulgaria with a group of friends. The plan was simple: enjoy the sun, sea, and some good old-fashioned fun. But soon this picture-perfect vacation would spiral into a chilling enigma. The trip kicked off without a hitch. Lars and his friends soaked up the vibrant nightlife and stunning beaches. But the holiday vibe took a sharp turn one fateful night on July 8th. Lars found himself in what seemed to be a minor scuffle at a local bar, a common mishap in bustling tourist spots. However, this wasn't just any scuffle. It left him with a ruptured eardrum, an injury painful enough to need medical attention. The local clinic's advice was clear. Flying was off the table for Lars, due to the risk of aggravating his injury with cabin pressure changes. So, while his friends packed up and headed back to Germany, Lars stayed behind to heal. It was a decision that should have been straightforward, but instead marked the beginning of an unsettling mystery. Now, alone in Bulgaria, Lars' story takes a turn from a relaxing holiday to a nerve-wracking thriller. In the days that followed, Lars seemed increasingly anxious, his behavior growing more erratic by the hour. His last known footage shows a scene straight out of a suspense film. Lars, looking distressed, running from the airport, and disappearing into the surrounding woods, never to be seen again. What led a young man, who was merely days away from returning home from a beach vacation, to vanish into thin air? What or who could have driven him to such a state of panic? These are the questions that haunt those who have followed his story, leaving a trail of theories but no solid answers. As intriguing as Lars Mitonk's disappearance is, you might be surprised to hear about other mysterious cases that have unfolded over the years. What secrets do they hold? 8. The Bennington Triangle, Vermont. Have you ever heard of the Bennington Triangle? It's a spot in Vermont that's as mysterious as it is unsettling. For its string of unexplained disappearances, it's often compared to the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Nestled around Glastonbury Mountain and spreading through towns like Bennington, this area has been the center of speculation and spine-tingling tales, especially between 1945 and 1950. Let's talk about Paula Weldon, an 18-year-old student who simply vanished in December 1946 while hiking the long trail. Despite a massive search effort that rallied over 1,000 volunteers, Paula was last seen on the trail, and then nothing. No trace of her was ever found, as if she'd stepped into thin air. And she wasn't the only one. Fast forward to 1949, and enter James E. Tedford, a man who disappeared right from a moving bus. Imagine sitting there one moment and gone the next. Witnesses last saw him on the bus, but by the time it reached Bennington, he had vanished, leaving behind all his belongings, including his bus ticket. The mysteries didn't stop there. In 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson disappeared while playing near his mother's truck. A bloodhound followed his scent to an intersection near Glastonbury Mountain, and then, just like that, the scent was gone. Just 16 days later, Frida Langer, a 53-year-old seasoned hiker, went missing near Somerset Reservoir. Oddly enough, her body was eventually found 6 months later, in an area that had been thoroughly searched before. Unfortunately, due to the advanced state of decomposition, the cause of her death remained a mystery. These bewildering events have fueled theories that the Bennington Triangle might house a portal to another dimension. While there's no hard science to back this up, the lack of physical remains in most cases, coupled with the bizarre nature of these disappearances, keeps such speculations buzzing. Some think the mountainous terrain and unpredictable weather could disorient hikers, yet the allure of more supernatural explanations like interdimensional travel or alien abductions remains. And if you think that's strange, wait until you hear about the next mysterious case. 9. Skinwalker Ranch. Sure, doing something quirky might make you the butt of a few jokes at a party, but imagine the same happening at a place like Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. And suddenly, you're not just an oddball, you're a headline. Known as a paranormal hotspot, this 512-acre property tucked away in the Winta Basin has been stirring up all sorts of chatter with tales of interdimensional portals and baffling phenomena. The saga took off in 1994 when the Sherman family took over the reins of the ranch. The place wasn't your typical farmstead. Before long, they were neck-deep in encounters of the third kind, complete with UFO sightings, mysterious glowing orbs, and creatures that seemed to jump right out of a sci-fi novel. One of their first welcome events featured a wolf-like entity so massive it was unlike any known species. Despite taking a few bullets at point-blank range, this creature simply shrugged off the hits and disappeared into thin air. Then, in 1996, Robert Bigelow, a billionaire with more than a passing interest in UFOs, entered the scene. He didn't just buy the ranch, he turned it into the paranormal research headquarters of the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDSCI. Their findings? Let's just say they didn't exactly calm the waters. Reports from the ground included bizarre sightings like a large humanoid lurking in the trees and cattle turning up mutilated without a single drop of blood. As if ripped from the pages of a thriller, some researchers suggest that all this spooky action might be swirling around a mysterious portal or energy vortex right on the ranch. And yes, the plot thickens with every glowing orb and flying object sighting, fueling theories that Skinwalker Ranch might just be the front door to another dimension. In 2002, a bright orb dipped into a nearby reservoir, only to re-emerge as a shimmering belt of light before vanishing. If that's not a party trick, I don't know what is. But hold your horses. While the tales are tantalizing, the scientific jury is still out. Years of probing have yet to nail down hard evidence, leaving us with equipment malfunctions, weird electromagnetic readings, and enough witness tales to keep the rumor mills turning. And yes, this ranch has not only captured the imagination of conspiracy theorists, but also drawn a keen eye from government and private sectors alike. Now, if Skinwalker Ranch has taught us anything, it's that the world is full of wonders, some just begging to be explored. What will be the next big reveal? 10. Devil's Sea, Dragon's Triangle. Have you ever heard about the Devil's Sea, also dubbed the Dragon's Triangle? Tucked away in the Pacific Ocean near Japan, this place has stirred up quite the mystery cocktail over the centuries, complete with vanishing ships and planes, and some even whisper about paranormal activities. Could this be a gateway to another dimension? Let's dive into the legend that has people scratching their heads and conspiracy theorists buzzing. This eerie stretch of water, lying between Japan, the Philippines, and Guam, is no stranger to the strange. The saga of the Dragon's Triangle dates back to the 13th century, during a high-stakes moment when Kublai Khan decided Japan looked ripe for taking. Historical records claim his fleet met its match not in the samurai, but in a catastrophic storm that erupted right over this fabled sea. This early tragedy sparked rumors that the area might be more than just waterlogged. Perhaps it was cursed or brimming with supernatural forces. The region's notoriety isn't just ancient history. Fast forward to 1952 and enter the Japanese research vessel Kaio Maru No. 5. Its mission? To probe the weird happenings reported in the Devil's Sea. The twist? The vessel and all 31 crew members on board simply vanished, swallowed up without a trace. This fueled wild theories that perhaps this patch of ocean was more than just choppy. It might just be a portal to an unknown dimension. Now, if you're thinking there's got to be a logical explanation, you're not alone. The Devil's Sea sits right near the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area teeming with seismic shakes and undersea volcanic eruptions. Scientists toss around ideas like methane hydrates, essentially underwater gas eruptions, or rogue electromagnetic forces that could flip a compass on its head. Yet, despite all the rational theories, the blend of natural dangers and baffling mysteries keeps the legend of the Devil's Sea very much alive. Speaking of mysteries, a glowing spiral once appeared in the sky over Norway. Well, that wraps up today's video, everyone. So, what do you think? Do you believe this man actually found a portal to another dimension? Or is there more to the story? And have you ever heard of anyone else experiencing something similar? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content coming your way.